On this edition of the Center of It All, the Eagles have landed on WHBL and we're heading to training camp. Penn State and the Center region try to move forward in the wake of the Jerry Sandusky Scandal and NCAA Sanctions. And Mel is whipping up some summer comfort food. These stories and more coming up next on the Center of It All. Welcome to the Center of It All. We have something new for football fans this fall on WHBL. We are now your official home for the Philadelphia Eagles. We will have exclusive coverage of 3 preseason games, and on Sundays, we'll be your home for all things Eagles, with a 2-hour block of programming featuring Eagles Unscripted, Inside the Season, the 2012 Philadelphia Eagles, Eagles Game Plan, and the Eagles Green Zone. As a result of our new partnership, Andrew Callista and I had the chance to check out training camp. And let me tell you, it is definitely worth the trip.
Eagles camp is less than a 3-hour drive from State College, and for fans, it offers a great opportunity to get up close and personal with your favorite player.
It's reality TV. Once you get to know the players and you see what's going on, you become a fan. If you live close in the area, there's really nothing to lose by coming here and checking it out and seeing these guys in action, seeing how big they are. And from then you just, you start following a player here or there, and before you know, you're an Eagles fan coming to training camp.
Training camp offers something for everyone, from the diehards to the kids who just want to get their picture taken with Swoop.
Oh, you can play, they can do the slides, there's blow-up slides and a lot of activities for them. So if they're old enough, or even, someone can watch them, they can go play around, and you can even watch the players and all that. So if they're not quite into it, there's things for both of you guys to do. So
the players love to see the fans come out and support them as they work through the rigors of training camp.
It's truly amazing. I'm out here at 8 a.m. and you already got like a couple hundred fans out there. It's truly amazing on work days. And then when it comes out to our real practice, we have about 5,000 fans, which is, I don't know how it is at other teams, but it's a lot of love, and we want to show them that we respect them, we care for them, and every time we take the field on Sundays that we're playing for them.
Need another reason to check out camp? Former Penn Staters Brett Brackett and Ali Agbu are battling to make the final roster.
The things that do go right, try to build on those. So, obviously there's good things and bad things, but trying to, kind of grow and get better each day is the best thing to do.
I think depth-wise, we have a lot of good guys here that, that are showing out right now, and I just have to, continue to show out, and hopefully the coaches, see it my way too.
EAGLES. For the Center of It All, I'm Andrew Callista.
I have to tell you, the Eagles could not have been better hosts to Andrew and I. And remember, check your local listings for game dates and times. Coming up next, Penn State and the State College business community are moving forward in the wake of the Jerry Sandusky Scandal. In the wake of the Jerry Sandusky Scandal, Penn State is taking great care to train all of its employees and camp volunteers to recognize the signs of childhood sexual abuse and how to appropriately respond to them. Our Alex Rabb has more.
Over a month's time, more than 2,000 Penn State employees have attended the university's professional training program, which is designed to help employees recognize and report suspected child abuse. Sue Cromwell, the director for the Center of Workplace Learning and Performance in Penn State's Office of Human Resources, says that the program is a part of Penn State and PICAR's initiative. PICAR is made of university police, trainers, the Women's Resource Center, technical service oversight, among others. These 2 main initiatives were established and implemented early April 2012.
One was an immediate need. There was a lot of training actually that was being done across the university in varying degrees, but it wasn't consistent training. So we felt that the first thing we needed to do was really focus on developing a consistent training for mandated reporters across Penn State University. The immediate need that we had was really knowing that we were going to have a lot of the sports camps, summer camps, programs that are going on through the summer, that we really had to tackle that group first.
A longer-term sustainable need was necessary too.
And that sustainable need is really, how do you make this type of training available to everyone that needs to be trained under the Penn State policy? The best way to do that is to do it in an online format.
According to the Pennsylvania Child Protective Services law, a mandated reporter is anyone that comes into direct contact with children and has reasonable cause to suspect on the basis of medical, professional, or other training and experience that there's a victim of child abuse. The training informs how to look for the symptoms and signs of abuse and has real-life role-playing scenarios at the end.
The training's about an hour and a half, so we cover everything from we talk about some statistics that are very prevalent in today. We want to make sure they understand what the law is. We want them to make sure they understand Penn State policy around it. We also talk about the signs and the symptoms of abuse. We talk about responding to a disclosure, and we talk about what their reporting requirements are.
650,000 children are abused every year. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are victims of sexual abuse. 93% of the abusers the child already knows. It's a scary thought which just enforces how important this program really is. Betsy Vinoy, a trainer with Penn State's program, says the trainee's response is pleasant and unexpected.
The response in the class is surprisingly, overwhelmingly positive. One of the things I really notice is that people get that you can't unknow this information. So what's been happening is that they're thinking, well, now I know what to look for and what to do and what to say, and it's a very different place to be. And so it's really helpful and gives them something that they can do, makes them say, I have information that I can use and I don't feel so lost in all of this.
People can learn to not fear as we move forward.
People don't know. We have these hang-ups about what's going to happen if I report this person. What if I'm wrong? Well, we want to move way past that. We're not worried about if you're wrong. We want to err on the side of caution. We want to put children's safety first. This gives people permission to do something that has been scary to them in the past.
For the center of it all, I'm Alex Rabb.
Thanks, Alex. The NCAA sanctions imposed against the Penn State football program will leave a profound impact on the university for the foreseeable future. And while the reverberations on the Center County economy is unknown, local business leaders gathered recently to discuss what the sanctions could mean and how they move forward.
We wanted to have a discussion, though, and start to centralize some opinion, really look forward in time, and not be about what's happened in the last few days, weeks, and months, but rather talk about, okay, where does this leave us now? How do we as a community respond to the human side of the equation relative to the victims and families, and how do we articulate our thoughts about that, but also then how do we respond to the business impacts that are out there and that we'll be facing everybody from merchants to businesses of all types and sizes across the region. And so it's in that vein that we call this meeting.
The unprecedented sanctions levied by the NCAA could have a major impact on the local economy. Despite the looming threat, Joe Vanna of the SNR Association thought the mood was very optimistic.
The tone happened to be, really positive. Just really looking about how we as the community, as the business community, can really move forward. Not really focusing on too much the events of the past, but kind of taking the approach of what can we do now? What can we do to really reestablish ourselves and really show the nation who we are?
Ralph Stewart of the Bellefonte Borough views this as a defining moment for the center region.
It is a wake-up call to we should have diversified over the years. We didn't, but now's a new day. We can take a look at what we've done.
While the sanctions will have an obvious impact on the hotel and restaurant industries, State Senator Jake Corman is focused on the broader picture.
Well, the entire economy concerns me. I mean, we are probably in the slowest recovery nationally of any recession we've ever had. And even though we're technically out of the recession, still hovering at 8% unemployment concerns me. This community has always done a little better than the national average, and it continues to do so. That's the concerning part about some of these sanctions. That'll probably cost jobs. It'll probably end businesses. But we just have to pick ourselves up. It is what it is, so to speak. And we now have to move forward and figure out the best way to create those jobs, to inspire that entrepreneurship in Pennsylvania, in this community, so that people can continue to raise their families in such a wonderful place like Center County.
While the Jerry Sandusky Scandal has been a tragedy at every level, one of the huge positives is the coming together of the many different communities that make up the Center region. When we return, it's time to check in with the Bricks and Sticks Golf Classic, and later, Mel is serving up some great summer comfort food. Welcome back to the center of it all. Habitat for Humanity and the Builders Association of Central Pennsylvania joined forces again for the 9th Annual Bricks and Sticks Golf Classic. And Alex Rabb has all the details.
Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization that believes that every man, woman, and child should have a safe, decent, and affordable place to live. They met up with the Builders Association of Central Pennsylvania and came up with a great fundraising event, the Bricks and Sticks Golf Classic.
Bricks and Sticks is in its 9th year, and we are partnering with the Builders Association again this year. And it came about, we wanted to do a fun outing to engage a lot of our partners in the building world. And we have golfers and non-golfers alike, so Bricks and Sticks. And our golf tournament is known in the community as one of the funnest golf tournaments around because we don't take it too seriously. We have on-the-course contests such as Hole in the Bowl, where our golfers are able to try to chip golf balls into toilet bowls. They're not usable toilet bowls. They're empty. And we also have the Wheel of Strokes, where people get to spin the wheel, kind of like Wheel of Fortune, and they get to deduct 1, 2, or 3 strokes off of that hole. It's a lot of fun. We just have your standard hole-in-ones, where we have 2 cars on the course, one from Blaze Alexander family of dealerships and another from Kia, the Lion Country Kia. So you can win a car.
And while it's all fun and games, the players know it's for a good cause.
Everybody is so great about it in terms of the money is for the organizations, and it's really a donation. The golf is kind of the fun part of it, but most importantly, the money is going towards organizations, and they understand that even if it does rain, the money keeps stays with for the tournament and ultimately back to the organizations.
For the center of it all, I'm Alex Rabb.
To learn more about Habitat for Humanity, log on to habitat.org. We all know that the stress of a wedding can quickly turn the bride-to-be into Bridezilla, but we have some great tips to help you deal with all that stress.
Your wedding day is supposed to be one of the happiest days of your life. But for a bride-to-be, it can be one of the most stressful too. Dr. Scott B. is a psychologist at Cleveland Clinic. He says planning a wedding can be overwhelming for some women.
Sometimes a bride-to-be might have her first panic attack in the planning stages or anticipation of the event. Sometimes if you've been predisposed to worry, that can stimulate additional worries, create a condition that is known as generalized anxiety disorder. But for most people, it's a temporary stress that's going to subside once the big day comes and goes.
Dr. B says planning a wedding is almost like taking on a second full-time job. And the stress levels go up as you get closer to the event. Dr. B says if you're a bride-to-be and feel your stress levels going through the roof, there are plenty of ways you can try to relax.
We'd love people to try relaxation skills. Progressive muscle relaxation is a well-known relaxation skill that can help people. Yoga, exercise, finding a few people that you can really rely on to vent to a little bit that are great listeners. Maybe a couple of your bridesmaids might serve that function.
Dr. B says it's important to keep it all in perspective. He says the events last one day, but the real event is the marriage, which will last a lifetime. With the Cleveland Clinic for the center of it all, I'm Alex Rabb.
When we come back, it's time to check in with Mel for some great summer comfort food. It's been a long, hot summer here in central Pennsylvania, and in this edition of Kitchen Encounters, Mel has some great comfort food to help you get through the dog days of summer.
Every once in a while, my world just gets stressful, overwhelming, and just plain crazy. When that happens, I take a step back and head for my kitchen to cook something that makes me really happy. Today, I'm making summer comfort food. I'm going to put some thick, juicy pork loin chops on the grill and make a sweet and savory apricot mustard sauce to drizzle over the top of them. Then, I'm going to mix up a batch of warm German potato salad, just like Grandma used to make. Let's get started. Sauces are liquids that require a lot of whisking and reduction. In French, a saucier is a chef who devoted his entire life to making nothing but sauces. It'll come as no surprise that the French invented the ideal pot for sauce making. It too is called a saucier. It's got a flat bottom and rounded sides. This really promotes evaporation and reduction. If you don't have a saucier, a deep, flat, wide-bottom skillet will work just fine. My apricot mustard sauce couldn't be easier to make. I've put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of apple juice in my saucier. I'm going to add a 12 to 14 ounce jar of apricot preserves, the best ones you can find. And now I'm going to add the mustard part, which is a 1/2 cup of Dijon. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of honey. Yum. Can you tell this is going to be delicious already? 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a tablespoon of white granulated sugar. And my spices, and they're all fragrant. Cinnamon, cloves, mace, allspice, a touch of dry English mustard, and just a pinch of salt to bring up the flavor. The only thing left to do is bring this to a simmer over medium heat and then whisk it constantly for about 3 minutes. All that's left to do now is turn it off and set it to the back of the stove, and it's time to make the potato salad. German potato salad is a bacon-studded, vinegar-based potato salad that's traditionally served warm. There's a ton of varieties of potatoes out there, folks, but the low-starch, waxy red potato is the best one for making potato salad. There's a couple of things potato salad cooks should know. Potatoes with the skins left on have more nutrients. Potatoes that are uncut and boiled absorb less water and hold their shape better. My personal tip, skip the water, microwave the potatoes. This makes for the perfect texture for your potato salad every time. Bacon and vinegar are the basis for any good German potato salad, and I've just finished frying 1 pound of chopped bacon in the biggest skillet I could find. I'm removing it to a paper towel-lined plate to drain, and we'll add that back in later. Now what I'm going to add is 1 pound of thinly sliced yellow onion, and 8 ounces of celery that's been chopped. I'm going to stir this, and I'm going to let this saute for 3 to 4 minutes until the onion is just short of browning. Oh, my onions and celery are just perfect. Just getting ready to start to brown. Now I'm going to add 3 pounds of red skin potatoes that have been thickly sliced. I'm going to say about 1/2 inch. And they've been microwaved. I'm going to stir those in. And I'm going to let these saute now for 5 or 6 minutes until they're just short of browning. My potatoes are perfect. Just a little bit of browning starting. In this bowl, I have some flour, sugar, salt, and celery seed. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of cold water. And I'm going to briefly whisk this mixture until it's smooth. If there's any really little lumps in it, it won't matter. They're going to cook out the second it hits this pan. And I'm going to add all of this to the vegetables. I'm going to stir this constantly, and this is how fast this is going to go until it's really, really thick, and you can see how quick this is happening. About 30 seconds. Look at that. Everything is really thick. And now I'm going to add half a cup of apple cider vinegar that's been whisked with 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard to bring out all the tang. Now that smells like German potato salad. I'm going to cook this again for just another minute to 2, because you can, I hope the camera can get in here, folks, so you can see like I'm getting a neat little sauce at the bottom of this. Only thing left to do now is turn off the heat, stir in all of that crisp bacon. Now, ideally, German potato salad at this point will be covered and allowed to sit for about 1 hour so the potatoes can absorb all that wonderful sauce, and it's served warm. I'm going back out to my grill to get my pork chops, and then it's time to eat. Dinner is served, and this one is like taking a step back in time to a kinder, gentler world. And that, my friends, is a very, very good thing. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
For this and all of Mel's recipes, log on to kitchenencounters.typepad.com. Well, this puts a lid on another edition of the Center of It All, but don't forget to like WHVL on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great day, everyone.